hangs, it's time for Heb hangs. Heb hangs, it's time for Heb hangs. Whatever you're doing, do this instead. Come along and hang with Heb.
Yeah, baby, it's time to hang with Heb. That's what we're doing. I realized other podcasts tell you what they're about when they start. Here, let me cover up my dogs. My feetsies. That's not for free. No feetsies for free. Yeah, other podcasts are like, welcome back to the blah 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 pod where we discuss blah blah blah. But I guess welcome to Heb Hangs. Can someone let me know if it's their first time like watching me? Like, I'm curious if anybody is seeing this who doesn't already follow me or like just discovered me on YouTube. I'm just curious. Also, I took an edible. I always feel like I need to disclose that. Like, I need to confess. Took an edible. I'm a little wavy, I guess. But then I took the second half and I don't think that has had time to kick in yet. But I do have ice cream with me. That honestly is probably just gonna melt. I've been seeing this girl on YouTube who has like a snack review thing, and I love reviewing snacks. I love a snack. And she has so many subscribers, and it's one of those ones where you're just like, why didn't I do that? I guess, but you can always still do it. But I've thought about, I think I said this in the last episode, I've thought about, or maybe it was just in the extended version. I've thought about maybe doing like a snack review thing at the end of this pod, like in the extended version, because okay, so I normally ask people for questions for the extended cut, but I think I'm like running out. Like, I can't tap in. Like, I just go on my Instagram and I ask and I get some questions, but I can't keep tapping into that resource. Like, it's going to run out soon probably, especially because I'm not answering the questions on my story. There's no payoff for them unless they're watching the extended cut of my podcast. So trying to figure out what I can give on the extended cut. It'll be longer, obviously, but longer doing what? Maybe I try snacks, review snacks. You know what I mean? That sounds really fun to me. You know those boxes that will send you snacks from around the world? I want that. I really want that. Cannot justify paying for anything like that right now, though. Can't even justify AMC A-list. And that's a big one. That was a big one. Canceling that. That's a big sacrifice. I love A-list. Ugh. Thighs. Strong thighs. Thick thighs. I love lukewarm water. I just got back from skating, so I'm all dehydrated. Because I guess I'm skating again. I roller skated a lot in the pandemic and was going to the park a couple days a week. But I had so much anxiety around it for some reason. Like, going to the skate park was really hard for me, and I would compare myself to other people and I would feel like, oh, why can't I get this? Why am I not? I love when dogs back up like a truck. You good, buddy? You want to be right there? You want to be right there? You can be right there. What was I saying about skating? What was I saying about skating? Skating, pandemic. Oh yeah, I had so much anxiety around it, and me and this other group of girls in London all started at the same time or similar times, and we were at the park and stuff together a lot. But they were all improving so fast because one girl I think like was an insane skier, so then it kind of just translated well. But mostly I just have so much fear around getting hurt, and like there's I just have such a mental blockage with just throwing the thing. Like, so many people will put on skates and they'll just come to the park and just throw. Usually guys, they'll come to the park and just throw it. You know, they'll just really go for it with reckless abandon. I think that's the right phrase. Dude, sorry my lighting has been so weird because I've been recording at sunset. So the sun's in a really weird, and like my window faces west, so I get like the last sun of the day. And anyway, but yeah, so I had a lot of anxiety around it. And then I moved to LA and I skated a little when I first got here, like 4.5 years ago. But then eventually just kind of phased out and anxiety got the best of me, and then also just lost interest and had other things going on. I moved to LA and was just kind of trying to figure my shit out, you know? But my friend who lives a block away from me, he skates and he's been bugging me to go out, and my brother skates and they've been bugging me to go out. And so I finally went back out on Tuesday with my neighbor, and we got to the park and we just randomly found, they're called Sapphic Skate LA. We just randomly found them, just a bunch of queers skating, just a bunch of queers and trans folks and femmes. It was awesome. I was like, what the hell? This is like crazy serendipitous, I guess, that we happen to come to the park on a Tuesday, and they go there every Tuesday. So I think I'm going to start going because I had a great time. I met some super cool people. I met this cool girl who I thought was super funny and nice. Smoked a little weed at the skate park. It felt like, whoa, when I was a kid and I went to the skate park and I saw people smoking, and it was like, whoa, it was crazy. It was really crazy. But now look at me. A whole ass adult stoner. I know I talk about weed a lot, and it's like I'm so aware of what it does, and well, not so aware, but I'm learning, you know, how I smoked 5 days in a row and then I was really depressed for a couple days. And I've stopped for long periods of time. I've stopped for like 6+ months before, but I don't know, kind of just go through phases a little. I know it'd probably be just better if I didn't completely, but I don't feel like doing that. So sometimes I want to partake. But that was interesting because I think it was my first time smoking while skating. And we had the first half of the session sober. And I didn't expect to drop in or anything. I just wanted to get comfortable on my skates again. Because they're new skates. Like, I got them years ago, but I've put them on like 10 times. So they're basically brand new. And I got them specifically to go to the park because I already had a perfectly good pair of skates. But then there was another pair of skates that were like even better for the skate park. And I ended up going halvesies on them for my birthday with my parents a couple years ago. And that setup, the skates were probably around $500 to $600 when it's all, well, actually probably the skates were like $500 or $450. And then my wheels are like $80. I have a grind block that I don't know how much those are, like $40 maybe. And then I have custom trucks on there. Not custom trucks, but like not the trucks that it comes from or it comes with. Anyway, so I've spent like upwards of $650 on these fucking skates when I absolutely had no business doing that and did not need to do that. I had a perfectly good pair of skates, but these ones were better for the skate park. And I thought I was going to be going a lot. So I invested in these skates. They basically just collected dust, and I've looked at them a lot and thought about them a lot, but just it hasn't been the right time. Now I've taken them out a couple more times. They're finally starting to get a little bit dirty and a little bit scuffy. But since they're different than my old skates, sorry, I have a hangnail and it's pissing me off. Hang on. I bite my hangnails a lot. Rocky is disturbed because kids are yelling outside. But since they're different skates than the ones that I had been using for a couple years, it took a while to get used to them. And like the trucks are wider, so basically the distance between the wheels, the metal things that the axle that the wheels are screwed onto, those are called your trucks. And these new ones I got, the trucks are wider, the wheels are farther apart, and that's supposed to give you more stability at the skate park for like going fast and stuff like that. I don't know. Sure. I was just kind of like, yeah, sure. And also it gives you more ankle support. And I almost hurt my ankle with my other skates. So I was like, oh my God, I need to get the ankle support ones because I like freaked out. But then, today I was skating and I hurt my ankle in the ankle support boots. So I don't know. I think it just happens. But yeah, so I was just planning on getting my bearings a little bit and maybe literally just like skating around in circles. And I was like, whatever, there's no pressure. I'm not going to get anxious like I did before because I know there's no pressure. No one's expecting me to do anything. I can just skate in circles. And then we got there and then it was the Sapphic skate group. And I was like, fucking awesome. I honestly don't think they appreciated my energy very much though. I think one girl did. We got along, but then everyone else has seemed like not my people. Not that they're not my people, but maybe the first impression they were just, my energy was just a bit like different than theirs. I was kind of on the like just super excited, and everyone else was kind of just like chilling. Like when I found out it was a group, I was like, what? We're taking a picture for what? Sapphic skate? Cool. What's Sapphic skate? And it was just kind of like not the vibe that anyone else was on. And I feel like I was just like, oh, yeah. But whatever, I'ma still be myself, and the right people will come to me and be attracted to me. And I made a friend, kinda. I made a skate park friend. Hopefully she'll be back because I thought she was really cool. Obviously, because I've mentioned her 8 times. She did this thing. She was like, you want to see my party? Because like, you start to get to know people, and we were both on the ramp together and we were like cheering each other on. Oh yeah, that's okay. So I was planning on just getting my bearings by just going around in circles. And then I met these people, and then I met this girl, and I ended up just getting in the ramp and testing things out, but I wasn't dropping in. And then she was dropping in, and then I was like, man, I know how to fucking drop in. I haven't done it in years, but let me go. So I dropped in, and then I just kept dropping in for the next like hour and practicing my stalls on the other side. A stall is when both feet stand up on the coping, which is like the metal bar at the top of a skate ramp. There's like a metal tube, and planting your feet on that and then coming back in, you did a stall. So I was working on that, just trying to get my bearings back again. And then, so I was very happy with myself because I wasn't expecting to do that. But yeah, I think still I went skating today. I still need to tell you her party trick, but I went skating today and I didn't make like massive improvements, and I could tell already in my head, I started to be like, oh no, like I'm not improving. Like I'm just getting into that anxiety thing where I feel like people are watching and they're going to be like, oh my God, she's been doing the same 3 things for a year. When is she going to get better? But it just takes me a long time. It's hard for me to just send it, and that's okay. That's really okay. I'm learning at my own pace. And that's what they be talking about in school. You learn at your own pace, and that's okay. I didn't realize this. I could do the same shit at the skate park for 10 fucking years. And if I enjoy doing those things, then I enjoy doing those things. Yeah. Easier said than done. But I want to believe that. I want to believe that in my soul and in my bones. Learning at my own pace. But anyway, so this girl started dropping in. So I was like, I can drop in. And then we were like cheering each other on and like getting to know each other a little bit. Oh, and then my friend Mel came randomly, who wasn't even skating, and she brought me a donut. That was cool. But then the girl was like, do you want to see my party trick? And I was like, hell fucking yeah. And this was right after I smoked, and she like went to the other side. She like dropped in and went to the other side and then landed in the splits on top of the ramp and then like went back in. It cracked me up. I could not stop laughing. It was so cool and so funny. And she was like, it's so stupid. I love how stupid it is. And I don't know. She just had good energy. It was fucking sick. And you know what I realized about, I think last week I was telling you about this party that I went to where it just felt like socially, I was just like on, like click, 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 click. And maybe I felt that way through Tuesday too. And I didn't really know why. I was just like energies were good. And then I hit my luteal phase a couple days ago and I was just slow, didn't really feel like socializing, didn't really know how to talk to people, was just kind of feeling sleepy and slow and just like went to be cozy. And I was like, right. So I was ovulating. So not only when you're ovulating do you get horny sometimes, who fucking knows with my meds, man. Also realized that my meds could be the reason that I'm gaining weight. So that's a nice trade-off. But who fucking knows with my meds, also with libido and stuff, like antidepressants, they're like, you don't want to kill yourself as much, but sex will be harder for multiple reasons, and also you're going to gain weight, whether you want that or not. So I just don't like my choice being taken out. If I want to gain weight, I want that to be on my own accord. What was I saying? Hang on. Who knows what the meds? Horny, ovulation. Right. So not only do you get horny when you're ovulating, you also, I guess maybe lock in socially and you have more energy, and that's kind of how I felt. I just felt like, yeah, I was just hitting it with everyone. I have so many random little irons and little fires everywhere. Little fires everywhere. I remember reading that book and then the show came out in the pandemic. I didn't love it though. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Oh, I'm reading a book. I didn't forget about the little irons and the little fires everywhere. I'm reading a book right now called Fourth Wing. And I know my reading girlies, hated that. I know my literature bitches be knowing that book, because everyone I mention it to, every girl I mention it to who reads is like, oh my God, yeah, fucking love Fourth Wing. Apparently it's smutty. And I'm almost halfway through. So I'm like, we're probably getting to the smutty bit soon. But it's fantasy, and I've been getting into fantasy, and it's good. It's just like the names. I really like it, and I think the dragons are sick. Like they sound really cool, and I like how they're described and all that, and like magic is cool. But it's just all the names, like, hello, my name is Thetharian Narloculus of the 19th dimension, known of the Flabbergoosnees. And I'm like, supposed to remember these names, and like that's my friend Terrace and her dog Snarkle, and I'm just like, what are these names? I can't keep up. They're like weird. Dane. I've never met a Dane. Yes, I have. Dane. I guess that's not that crazy. I guess Dane isn't that crazy. Taryn. That's also not crazy. What the fuck? But is it pronounced Taryn? T-A-I-R-N. Like Tarn. Tarn. Is their name Tarn or Taryn? Ondarnda? Ondarnda? Not Adarna. It's Ondarna. I don't know. It's just a lot of... And then you got the feather tails and you got the club tails and the spike tails. It's just like a lot of world to learn. And... with Fourth Wing specifically, at least so far, I feel like it was a lot of characters introduced early on, and I don't really feel like there needed to be that many characters. So it's been a little bit confusing. I'm trying to remember who everyone is and keep up. But I don't know, that could just be a me thing. I remember one time they told me I had poor reading comprehension when I was in 4th grade. And that has stuck with me my whole life. Just feeling like, oh, maybe if I don't understand this thing that I read, it's because I have bad comprehension. You know, it could never be, oh, the author could maybe improve on this or whatever. I just think like, oh, this worked for everyone else. Everyone else probably just understands it perfectly, and I'm just the one who can't comprehend it. When that might not be the case. Ooh, thighs. Maybe everybody's confused. I just spilled all over myself. But anyway, so I've been reading that. I was reading this book called The Way of Kings that my friend gave me because he was like, oh, you're getting into fantasy, read this. And it was fine. It was good, I guess, but I just didn't, I don't know. I was just like, ugh. It was just taking so long to get to anything. And again, there were so many characters and I was just like, who the fuck? And like, it had good sections, but I didn't look forward to reading it. And I was reading it super slowly. I was reading like one chapter and just being like, okay, I read a chapter. But this one, I'm like, I can't wait to get into bed to read my book. I got to make sure I bring my Kindle everywhere. I'm like really loving reading Fourth Wing. And then after this, I'm in a book club. So I think I'm going to try to finish this book first and then do the book club book, which I can't remember what book that is. Maybe I'll look it up, see what it is. And then I want to read the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I listened to the first audiobook and really liked it. And then I'm like a third or a quarter into the second audiobook. Half, a quarter, half, I don't know. And wait, let me find the book. I think she sent a picture of it. I think she sent, Loved One by Aisha Muharrar. I think it's Muharrar. Aisha Muharrar. Loved One. I don't know what it's about. I don't know anything about it, actually. What was it saying about I think I was saying something about the book. I don't know. Let's look up what Loved One is about. An emotional mystery spanning years, continents, and relationship statuses. Dude, the screaming outside is crazy. Something. When Julia's first love turned best friend, Gabe, a musician with a cultish following, dies unexpectedly at age 29, Julia, I don't know if I want to learn more. I really like to go into things blind. Julia launches herself into an intercontinental quest to recover the possessions he left with friends and acquaintances across the world. Oh, that sounds fun. Along the way, she encounters whatever. Okay, I'm going to stop reading there. Because, I really like to go into things blind. Yeah. What did I just see? Oh, I just saw Obsession. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about things. Like, everyone was like, oh, that was amazing. But I don't think that it wasn't amazing. I think maybe it just didn't penetrate me deeply. I want some ice cream. Why is she gaining weight? This isn't all I ever eat. It's Ben & Jerry's non-dairy fish food. They had a sale, buy one, get one free, for specifically non-dairy. Okay, I'm done. Rocky's like, shut the hell up. Now I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, obsession. Don't know how I feel. So it's cool that it came from a YouTuber. And this was his first movie with like a budget. And it was good. But I kind of felt sometimes, okay, if I don't like fully buy into something in the first couple minutes, it's hard for me to buy in at any point. And I didn't really buy into the main girl's acting in the beginning. And then so even when like it started going crazy, it's like I just kind of remembered it. Okay, I don't know if it was even her acting. I don't know. I feel like maybe it was because she was a good actor, like objectively. It's like sometimes I feel like I can read the words on the page, and I don't like that. I don't like when I feel like I can see the script and it's like, oh, and then they wrote in the line here, she screams and then she screams. I don't know. Does this make sense? So like she walks to the other side of the room and then you see the actor walk to the other side of the room and it's like, yeah, of course that was like in the script, or you know, the director said to do it or whatever, but I don't want to feel like I can see that. I want to feel like I'm watching something natural and real, and I don't want to imagine the camera crew around or anything. And I felt like I could imagine the camera crew around, and I don't know what to attribute that to. Definitely some part of my brain, you know, like this isn't their fault completely. But I don't know if it's like if I don't buy into someone's acting or if I don't buy into certain writing or editing. I don't know what it is. But if that's how I feel, then it's hard for me to fully buy into something and be like fully immersed in it and then be moved. Because in order for me to be moved, I need to like not be thinking about that stuff. Like I just rewatched A Star Is Born. Crazy movie. That movie just sticks with me like no other. It's crazy. A Star Is Born is like that. Love Lies Bleeding was like that. Twilight, just joking. Although it does stick with you. No feetsies for free. Yeah, so I gotta like kind of forget where I am in order to be, I gotta be immersed and I gotta feel something. So we're going to see Backrooms next week and I'm so excited because I feel like I'm gonna be immersed. Ooh. But okay, Obsession looked beautiful. It was shot beautifully. 100% it was shot beautifully. And I do feel like the writing was good. Yeah, but I'm really, really excited for Backrooms. I don't know the lore. Like, I know a little bit. I know he had a creepypasta series on YouTube that went viral. And that's what it's based off of. But that's like all I know. And there's a tall dude in it. That's it. I don't like when anyone else tries to tell me nothing. But based on the previews, it looks like one, that lead actor I like. I can't remember where I've seen him or what his name is. But that lead black guy, he's good. And in the previews, I feel like I really fucking believe him, which is so, I love believing that it's real. I need to believe that this is real. I need to believe this shit is real. I can't think about being on a movie set. Okay? And that's what my brain is always going to be looking for, ways to poke holes. Oh, my hips hurt. Hang on. but no feetsies for freebies. Someone commented on my last video and they were like, don't be shy, let those dogs out or something. I'm like, bruh, chill. Also, are dogs your feet or your toes? Are dogs your feet or your toes? Because I always thought your dogs were your feet and your puppies were your toes. You could also be talking about puppies being feet, but dogs, definitely feet. Puppies, 60-40 toes, feet. Dogs, 90% feet, 10% toes. So, but anyway, and then based on the previews, okay, there's this episode of The Simpsons where Homer goes to the corner of sorry, I just thought about the extended cut again. I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do that's sustainable for the extended cut of this podcast? I was just thinking. Anyway, what? Right, there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson goes up to the corner of a wall where two walls meet and he like crosses his eyes. Actually, maybe that's Adventure Time, but where they have to cross their eyes. Yeah, that's Adventure Time, where they cross their eyes and then they go into like a different dimension. But I think something like that was in The Simpsons too, where he went up to the corner of the walls, and sometimes I forget to breathe or like when to breathe. You know, it's like manual breathing, but when I'm talking, I can't think of like where the appropriate time to breathe is. But he goes up to the corner of the walls and he gets absorbed into this like pixelated dimension. Like it's just green and black. Everything's made out of like dots and lines, which I guess is kind of the world we're in today. Everything is just dots and lines. That's crazy, bro. But anyway, he was like taken into this other dimension. And I remember as a kid, that was the first time I felt surrealism. I couldn't explain the feeling I had. It felt like, how do you define surrealism? I didn't know how to describe what I was feeling as a kid, but I was like, this feels like weirdly adjacent to reality, but not quite reality. And I kind of feel like I'm dreaming this. That's how I described it as a kid. Let's see what the internet has to say. Define surreal. Having the qualities of surrealism. Come on. Give me a real one. Marked by the intense irrational reality of a dream. Marked by the intense irrational reality of a dream. Tiny glitches in photographic reproduction gleaned from newspapers and magnified to surreal effect. Okay. I found myself in the surreal position of having to explain that I was, in fact, me and not the other version of me on the West Side. Marked by the intense irrational reality. What do you mean marked by the intense irrational reality of a dream? Oh, like it seems irrational. Ah, interesting. Yeah, so it feels like a dream because it feels like it shouldn't be happening. Very interesting. What an interesting feeling. Because you know how they're like, oh, in English, we don't have a word for this feeling. And then, you know, in Japanese, they say this. In German, they say this. And it describes, you know, the feeling of being really tiny next to a giant structure. That like scary feeling, whatever. I'm pretty sure we have a word in English for that. But anyway, I wonder what cultures don't have, or what languages don't have a word for surreal or surrealism, but how many people experience that feeling and wish they could describe it. Unbelievable, fantastic, surreal artists. Let's look up some surreal art, because I've heard of that, like surreal art. I guess this is surreal. It's kind of surreal. Okay, I understand why they call this surreal. Interesting. 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 I know you can't see what I'm seeing, but this is, as you can guess, interesting. Oh, I like this one. It's like a street lamp. Surrealism is interesting. What kind of art do I like? I wonder what kind of art that I like. But it's like a street lamp. It looks like a cartoon. It's like a street lamp at night, but it has a triangle of light coming down onto the street. But there's a guy painting the yellow. So it's not actually the light from the street lamp. There's a guy like painting what looks like is the light from the street lamp. Very interesting. Surreal art. What about different types of art? Types of art. Like, because I don't know if I like... Okay, I think I like Art Deco, Baroque. Sorry, my memory card filled up. And I took the opportunity to eat one more spoonful of ice cream and put it in the fridge. I mean, in the freezer. And also get myself this nice little blankie that my mom knit me when I moved out when I was 18. Okay, what do I also like? Maybe I like Impressionism. Pointillism is cool. What's naive? What's naive art? Naive art. Refers... Oh, wait, let me not read the AI one. Naive art is usually defined as a visual art that is created by a person who lacks the formal education and training that a professional... This is some amateur porn shit. Who lacks the formal education and training that a professional artist undergoes in an anatomy, art history, technique, perspective, ways of seeing. When this aesthetic is emulated by a trained artist, the result is something called primitivism. Goodness gracious. This is primitive. Pseudo-naive art or faux naive art. Interesting. Now I understand why someone might go get an art history degree. It seems interesting. Whoa, naive art. So it's like kind of simple and handmade. Oh, this is beautiful. This might be my favorite. Naive art. I love naive art. Is there a naive art gallery in LA? Naive art gallery, Los Angeles. Emerging and established artists, affordable art gallery. You can rent paintings? I want to go to more art galleries. I have a friend, let me text her right now. Because she had an art show this past weekend, but I couldn't make it. Hi, is your art going to be on display any longer, or was it a one night only thing? I'd love to see it. Now that I'm into art, as of 17 minutes ago. The bird sounds so nice. I haven't really been watching any TV, which is super weird and new for me. I just haven't been. I've been reading a lot more. And I guess skating and working. I took Rocky to the park today for the first time in 6 months because of his foot and his limp and all that. Because I couldn't tell if his limp was getting better or staying the same. And it's so weird because it pops up and then it's gone just constantly. Like half the time he has it, most of the time he doesn't have it, but then he'll limp like once a day or something. And I'm like, why are you limping? And then he is fine. So I'm like, what is going on? Do I need to get you a CT scan? Obviously, if I could just afford it willy-nilly, I would just go get a CT scan. But I'm like, are you okay? Because if you're okay, I don't need to drive down to Mexico and spend $1,300 on a CT scan. Not a TC scan. Tyler Carter's a rapist, by the way, and a pedophile. The ex-lead singer of Issues. That's why the band dissolved. But for some reason, he still has a career. Which is dangerous. Anyway, Tyler Carter. Carter. CT scan. Right. Anyway, so I'm like, if I don't need to do that, I don't want to do that. I thought of Tyler Carter because he goes by TC. Anyway. So I decided to take him to the park this morning for maybe like 10 minutes. Kept it really chill, low key. He ran around a bit. And that was his first time running in a field. I feel like he limps when he just like lays on his leg weird. Like he just got up and limped away really bad. But he also was laying down sideways. But yeah, he ran around a little bit for like 10 minutes. It was pretty easy. But I was just like, I feel so bad that this man has not run in a field in so long. Like he's just been so cooped up. And I really want to take him out for better walks and hikes and stuff like that. But not if he's like limping and he's hurt, man. Bro, fuck. And then I think also my bond would become stronger again with him going out and doing these fun things. Because right now I feel like it's weak. And that sucks. I don't want a weak bond with my doggy. People are like, he probably still has 8 more years left. And I'm like, 8? It's just hard being a single mom. I do not wish him dead. It just doesn't feel sustainable how it is right now. Just being a single mom who works 2 jobs, loves her kids and never stops. Everyone always sings that like as a joke. I used to fucking love that show. I used to watch Reba every day at 4:00 after school. It was Reba, and I think on the same day was What I Like About You, the Amanda Bynes show. Bro, did they have a new episode like fucking 5 days a week? Like, why was that on so much? Or maybe it was just like Tuesdays, Thursdays it was on. A single mom who works 2 jobs, who loves her kids and never stops. I love country. I feel like I could sing country. Please. That's not what I meant to say. I feel like with writing and stuff, country might be the way if I want to write music again. Country is just so fun. I got asked to do, oh my God, bro, after the Obsessed thing that I did, I got asked to do a stand-up set, like a musical. Oh, well, I'm going to do musical comedy. But I just feel like so not prepared for that. I guess maybe I could go to some open mics first. That's a good idea. Wait, let me hit up my other friend. Do you want to try to hit up an open mic with me this week? I got asked to do a show in a couple weeks, and I feel very not ready. That's what you got to do. You just got to send the text. Wait, did I invite her to my birthday party? That would be bad if I didn't. And to Kirsten. Did I invite Kirsten? Did I invite Kirsten? Let me see. Because if he didn't RSVP and I already invited him, then that's fucked up. I'm going to say hello. No, I'm not. Delete. That's my favorite thing to do, though. As soon as I have a thought like, oh, I should do this with this person, or like, let me see what they're, just send the text right away. I love that. And then it always gets shit in motion. Like one time I was in therapy a couple weeks ago, and my therapist was like, maybe you should make a vision board. And I was like, I have some friends who might be down to make vision boards. This was like on a Tuesday. And I texted them and I was like, yo, do you guys want to make vision boards? And they were like, yeah. And we all happened to be free that Friday. So like 3 days later, we were making vision boards. And I texted her in therapy. I'm not one to normally be on my phone in therapy, but I was like, that's a great idea. Let me see right now if those friends want to do that. I went to a party thing last night, like a game night. And there was this one motherfucker there. He was Egyptian. So, you know, more African than me. But he was trying to seriously say that Jennifer Lopez is black. He was like, well, like we all come from black people, and she's Puerto Rican, right? He's like Puerto Ricans are basically black. I don't know. We were all just kind of like, why are you fighting so hard for that? What are you talking about? He just kept trying to say that she's black, and we were playing a game where someone had to guess who was on their head. And so the person who asked the question, they were like, is my person black? And we were like, no, because we're trying to get you to guess J-Lo. And this one guy was like, yeah, she is. And he was like fighting us. He was like, she's black, guys. It was just weird. And then we were playing another game, and we were playing Wavelength. And if you don't know Wavelength, if you know Wavelength, this will make sense. If you don't, it'll still make sense. But our friend was trying to get us to guess something that was pretty mainstream, but not the most mainstream. And she said Harry Potter as like kind of mainstream. And everyone was like, that's the most mainstream you can possibly get. That is the most mainstream franchise. That Star Wars mainstream. And they were trying to argue that it was like kind of mainstream. They were trying to argue that it was the same amount of stream, level of stream as A Court of Thorns and Roses, the book I was referencing earlier. Listen, that is a very, very popular, extremely popular book. Not as mainstream as Harry Potter. Just not. Even close. Not even close. Harry Potter is the fucking wizarding world of Harry Potter. People who have no idea about Harry Potter go to the parks and ride the fucking rides. Mainstream. She was like, yeah, but have you read the books though? And most people were like, no. And they were like, yeah, so then it's not mainstream. It's like, it's not just about reading the books. Everyone knows Harry Potter. Everyone knows Harry Potter. That was so funny. And then they sent me a screenshot this morning. The Google search was like, is Harry Potter mainstream? And it said, yes, Harry Potter is mainstream. And they were like, oops. Funny. Okay. Sorry, I was just thinking, what should I do for the extended thing? Let me see if I have. Hang on. Everybody hang on. A single mom who works too hard. Okay, if you're seeing this on Patreon, I'm sorry, the only perk to this episode will be that you got it early. because I'm going to figure out this week what I can sustainably do for the extended portion, because I love questions, but if I'm just not getting them, so maybe snacks, or like reviewing snacks from around the world, or that's all I can think of. So if there's anything else that I can do that's like sustainable. All right. But I'm going to end it there for everyone. Patreon did see this first, 3 days early. But yeah, I love you guys, and this one has been fun. Oh, I wanted to tell you about my bed. I started making my bed in a new way. Also, I cleaned up my apartment and it feels so nice, but I started making my bed in a new way because I saw some guy on Instagram yelling at me, telling me how to do it correctly. And I just really believed him. I was like, okay, I'll do what you say. He's just like, that's not how you do it. You're watching my videos because you like the way I do things. And I don't like this. I think it looks cheap. It's not chic. He says chic a lot. He has like 1 million followers, so you might know who he is. Maybe a couple million. I don't know. He has a lot of followers. But I folded my duvet down like halfway down the bed. Usually I just kind of did the top like a foot down or something, but I did it like halfway down. And then I have my throw blanket, my weighted blanket is like underneath the fold, so it's poking out from below the fold. And then I have my pillows stacked on top of each other rather than one in front of each other. I don't know if that made any sense not seeing it, but anyway. Oh, and then I have Gassy laying across my front pillows. So, yeah. And I really like it, and I think it looks chic. Okay, well, I guess, yeah, I'll take this as my sign because I'm about to lose sunlight, but this has been really fun. I really liked this episode. I had a good time. I always get scared that I'm not going to have anything to talk about. But, you know, here I was yapping away. And, yeah, but it's been real. I love you guys. Like and subscribe. All right. Maybe I'll stop saying that because I kind of hate saying that. Yeah. Okay. And I love you guys. I want to hear your thoughts about things. I love comments. I love hearing what people think. So be opinionated. All right. Bye. Love you.